All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm reviewing yet another beer from the Braxton Brewing Company, and they're out of Covington, Kentucky, and this is their Braxton Labs Blackberry Pie. So they're calling this a Dessert Berliner Weisse, which is basically Berliner Weisse that is brewed with blackberry puree, cinnamon, vanilla beans, and lactose. Comes in at 4.8% alcohol by volume, 5 IBUs in the time of review. This can is approximately 3.5 months old. So this one I picked up at Braxton Labs in Bellevue, Kentucky, right inside the party source. And Braxton Labs, where they do all their experimental stuff for the Braxton Brewing Company, part of the Braxton Brewing Company. And I reviewed their IPA, I forget the name of it. I picked up a mixed 4-pack from the brewery, and I reviewed that IPA, and I'm going to review this one. The other two, which was a strawberry goza and a cucumber wit beer, I'm not reviewing those, just drinking them off camera. So I wanted to get in this one because it sounds delicious. Now, full disclosure, I had a couple ounces of this when I was in Cincinnati. Good friend of mine, Todd, his brother-in-law invited us over on Saturday when we were there, Average Pops and myself, and we drank a lot of beers, shared a lot of beers at Todd's brother's house, and somebody cracked this open. I can't remember who it was, but it was pretty good. I remember enjoying it anyway, and I was like, yeah, definitely gonna review that one because it sounded great, and it tasted pretty great. I don't remember much because we had a lot of beers that day, but I just remember enjoying it, so we're gonna properly review this one. So yeah, that looks like there's blackberry puree in it for sure. No doubt. Now, this is 3.5 months old, so I would say, why did I sit on so long? But I did buy this in mid-September. I'm reviewing it about a month later, so when I picked this up, it was already 2.5 months old. The only thing I can really see dropping out would be the cinnamon. A lot of times the spices drop out, but we'll see. Anyway, that pours out this beautiful, like, deep, just a super purple color to it. Looks beautiful. Has a about a finger of a straight-up pink-colored head. Maybe like a light purple, creamy looking. Yeah, it's super murky and turbid in there too. Very hazy. Looks great. Honestly, if you're talking about a blackberry pie beer, I would say that looks fantastic. Let's get a nose. Definitely pick up on the blackberry. There is a nice tartness to the nose. Like you can tell this is going to be a sour beer. Well, Berliner Weisse. It's funny, I drink so many sour beers, but I very rarely ever get like a pronounced sourness. It's usually tart, but yeah, this is technically a sour. It's a Berliner Weisse. There's a decent sweetness here, but honestly, not getting a lot of vanilla, not getting any cinnamon. So I feel like at this point, the cinnamon has fallen off, and the vanilla I'm probably going to get more in the taste. More often than not with vanilla, it's usually bigger in the taste than it is in the aroma. So yeah, it smells like a ton of blackberries, and that's pretty much it for me. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, that's nice. Definitely reminiscent of like a blackberry pie or like a blackberry crumble or something like that. Right up front, tons of blackberry. Pass through the palate, the vanilla kicks in. And then I'm getting like a pie crust kind of thing, like a crackery, not cracker, like a graham cracker pie crust vibe. Body on this one, 4.8% is like higher side of light body, lower side of medium, so appropriate for the style and for the ABV. With lactose in here, I thought it was going to be more creamy, a little bit more creamy anyway. It has more of a like a crisp, relatively clean, effervescent type of mouthfeel to it. Spritzy on the palate, which Berliner Weisses are known for that. But they're going for like a dessert Berliner Weisse or a blackberry pie. And I would like to see this be a little bit more creamy personally. Finishes with a nice balanced mixture of tartness along with a sweetness. Really no bitterness to speak of. It's relatively clean. I have a little bit of like a lingering blackberry pie character on the back of the palate. Really not picking up on any cinnamon. At this point, I feel like the cinnamon's kind of just gone. But it's super easy to drink. It's 4.8%. I could crush a ton of these. What I like about this is even though it's a dessert Berliner Weisse, it's not too sweet. It's also not too tart or sour. It has, like I said, a nice balance between the tartness and the sweetness. And it's super drinkable and very refreshing. That blackberry character is the predominant note to this beer, and it drinks just like a summer crusher. This is a beer that I could drink 2 or 3 cans of. It would not weigh down my palate because it's 4.8%. All of these characteristics are kind of nuanced and subtle. It just kind of drinks like a blackberry Berliner Weisse. I would call this like a blackberry Berliner Weisse with like a hint of vanilla and graham cracker. It's kind of, you're going for the pie character, you're going for the pie, the Blackberry Pie note. You're trying to replicate that in a Dessert Berliner Weisse. But I think without the cinnamon for me, and with the light vanilla and light graham cracker, it doesn't make it fully to that level, but it's close. It just needs a little bit more. That said, I do remember liking this more when I shared it with Todd and his brother-in-law, or his brother, not his brother-in-law. I'm pretty sure it's his brother. Todd and his brother. We were drinking a bunch of different beers. My palate was shot. So drinking on a fresh palate a month later, I do enjoy this quite a bit, actually. This is tasty. So Braxton Labs, a Blackberry Pie from the Braxton Brewing Company. I'm going to give this a straight 4 out of 5. It's really tasty. I do enjoy it. More of a summer crusher than a Dessert Berliner Weisse for my palate, but I do enjoy this one. I think it's pretty damn tasty. So price and availability, I think I paid $12 for a mixed 4-pack from the brewery. So you're talking $3 a can. This was probably in the $11, $12 range for a 4-pack, which I think is a reasonable price for everything that they're putting in this beer for sure. And if you ever have a chance to go to Braxton Labs, do so. Availability, I think these get obviously at the Braxton Labs inside the Party Source in Bellevue, Kentucky. But then I think some of these make it outside the area into Cincinnati, into Kentucky. So if you live in Cincinnati or in Kentucky, you probably should see these. This one's probably long gone. Again, this was brewed, I think, for like right around July 4th. So I'm drinking this one in mid-October. It's not, not the most ideal freshness, but if they do another pie beer like this, I would definitely seek it out because I think they did a pretty good job with this one. I would have loved to try this fresh just to see how it is with the cinnamon and the vanilla and everything fresh, but as is, 4 out of 5, so can't really complain too much. Anyway, yeah, 4.8%, really don't pick up on any alcohol. It's just, yeah, again, sub 6% beers for me. I almost never mention the alcohol, and I always forget, and I say it at the end because more often than not, it's 4.8%. There's not really a distinct alcohol characteristic, whether it's on the palate, in the chest, in the stomach, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Until the next one. Cheers.